If you drive on Woodruff Road, you can spend as much time sitting as moving, but the DOT wants to fix the problem, and you can hear the plans tonight. Christine Scarpelli live in Greenville this morning, and Christine, I am one of those
just starting a show and the words Woodruff Road comes out. Welcome in Saturday morning. It is now time for another edition of Let's Talk Oconee SC. Hi, everyone, and welcome to this gorgeous, fantastic, beautiful day. It's Oktoberfest weekend in Wahal. What? What? Who?
Oh, wait,
what?
Are we starting?
Yeah.
Woof approved.
Uh-oh.
What is that? Woof,
What the heck?
Was our favorite German Shepherd?
Oh,
you don't remember that?
The shepherd dog, the dog shepherd.
Dog shepherds.
Yeah.
What's the front of that thing say? Ask me about Woodruff Road.
I told you I don't like talking about Woodruff Road anymore. Everybody talks about it, and I don't even know why you ask. Well, I do have a guess, so.
Well, but why you got it on your shirt?
I don't know. But you know I don't like talking about it.
I guess not. But hey, you've got a nice shirt. But I gotta tell the listeners, my uniform came in.
Dun, 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 dun.
But you can't see the shoes.
Yeah, I've got buckles on my shoes too, ladies and gentlemen. But
Well, wait a minute. If you want to ask me about Woodruff Road, I won't talk about it because I hate talking about it, but I have a guess.
all right, well let's talk to your guest. Move your microphone. What in the hell is that?
That's a friend.
Well, I mean, it's my friend.
It's a little Chris.
He likes to talk about Woodruff Road. He's kind of grumpy. He won't talk to you because he said he doesn't like. He's kind of make him mad.
Get your hand out of that thing before you get.
No, what do you mean?
blubber
What do you mean?
crickets.
Oh, you want to make fun of him? You want to make fun of him? Yeah, I know. He is kind of a
Bloomer
jerk.
crickets.
Do you have any questions for Woodruff Road? Because he knows more about Woodruff Road than I do.
Yeah, tell us why is Woodruff Road in such a damn mess?
Well, okay.
And why are you so excited about it?
It's not me. It's my guess.
It's a little
Oh,
Chris.
he said, now as we get more serious, we know what's going on in Greenville. We know the taxpayers are paying $121 million. So here's what's going on in Oconee County. This planning commission, they know, trust me, people, they know it's out of control. And they're scared. You saw it in the articles. You saw it with people talking about that all translates to it's going to cost emergency funding when all this happens. It is going to kill us. And there are going to be people that are going to be losing their homes.
Well, so another question: did you watch the?
Why are you talking to me?
Well, because he's looking at me.
No, he's looking at you.
Well,
Go ahead, ask him.
all right. Anyway, so planning commission met Monday night.
Uh-huh.
Did you watch?
He said yes.
Okay. What did you think?
He thought it was basically just politics as usual.
Right, but I think that John Morey, when he went over there, he had a lot of good things to say, and mostly about how what I understood him to say was that we're trying to play in 2022 with the set of rules from 1960.
I would say
Well, I agree with that.
1965. Makes sense.
But here's the thing. We've been talking about that. Buildings going on. We know there's infrastructure risk. But here.
But it's almost like if you know the county inspector or the county engineer, and you give them a little here, they do whatever you want to.
Well, I don't know about that. I don't want to. Well, I'm not going to say that. So anyway, here's the point. Here's the point. They all know it's an issue. They all know on the commission it's an issue. But they do not have the courage to say, guys, this is screwed up. We need help. And the question would be, they're going to say, well, there's nothing we can do. Well, okay. All right. He says there's nothing that can be done because they will say, well, you know how the citizens are. They're going to freak out because they're going to say we're trying to control land.
No. You're going to. Oconee's coming to take my
Yes,
property.
yes. I'm taking over. Okay.
Well, hey, one more thing.
No, I'm going to talk. I want to say something.
On Tuesday,
There's my friend. Please be nice. There he is.
But
he is, folks.
I'm going to tell you
should go
what.
up here.
People should really watch out for John Moore. He's coming around. He was at the school board meeting on Monday. He was at the planning commission on Monday. And I will tell you what, on Tuesday, he went to county council meeting.
Well, I saw somebody last night. I got to watch the council meeting, and I was impressed. David Dial said some great stuff last night in the public comment section concerning what we were just talking about. Well, and he gets it. He understands that, we're at a situation now that if something's not done or there's not some sort of good planning, Oconee could be in trouble.
Well, I just want to talk about the fashion statement that Mr. Morey was making at the council meeting. He had a denim leisure suit. And, I mean, he was one bell bottom away from 1971.
Wow.
I'm going to tell you what, he was rocking that thing. It was pressed sharp. And I tell you what, he must have been taking his lady.
My grandfather had one of those.
I wore one. I had it when I first started working.
He was taking He was taking his lady to dinner afterwards.
Leisure. Because I love leisure.
We met up at the Trailhead Tavern.
Did you have anybody meet you there?
Yeah. You know what? A lot of folks from the OCRM and the OCRW and the ones left from the OCRP were all in there playing trivia.
What about the OCC?
Who?
Well, I mean, we got a lot of OCs around here.
Who?
Well,
who is the OCC?
That's behind us, man.
That's way behind us.
Thank goodness. Cause
that Sharpie done ran.
Well, they still slither out from under the rocks every now and then.
No, it's too cold. Winter hit this morning.
Hey, guys, let me just say one last thing.
Well, the terrorists in Afghanistan and Iraq, they wouldn't fight in the wintertime either. When it got cold, they just moved to Pakistan or something. Like, you go over in the wintertime and just sit there and wait for nothing to happen. Freeze your balls off.
Okay, so let me say a couple of last things about this. The politics are there. I think the Planning Commission is playing politics. Leave that to the council. What they owe it honesty in the community. Now, they're going to say, they spout this crap up there when they're on the platform about, property rights. Come on, guys. Why, if you're not going to have the courage to really speak out, then what you need to do is a very simple exercise. What is it going to cost us 5 years down the road if we don't? When you start putting numbers on a board and sharing with the community, you're looking at 50 million, 70 million, whatever. People will start paying your attention.
That's our whole budget.
That's the whole budget.
Exactly.
You mean taxes
believe me, it's going to be
double
worse than that. Now,
you mean taxes might double?
I don't think those were at large positions, but I will offer my services, and I'm very serious about that. I will be happy to work with the Planning Commission to get the right people.
Could you work? Rainey, I agree. Could you work with that bald-headed, ugly freak guy named David Nix?
I would ignore him. All the only thing he would do is talk about property rights. I said, guy, nobody gives a shit. What they care about is $100 million.
Did he just drop the S word again?
I apologize.
I'm going to put a swear jar in here, and for every time you swear, shit, that's $3 right there in the jar.
And you know what? I'm going to apologize to my millions of fans out there internationally.
Million?
I don't do that.
You probably got more million than the writing candidate.
Well, oh yeah!
I just want you to know I am on my A game today.
Oh yeah, baby! Oh yeah! All right. So anyway,
speaking of,
no, but I want to say one last. All right.
Say it. Whatever.
All right. Seriously.
Wait.
Seriously.
Just wait.
No. Seriously. And now we're having fun like we always do as friends. But I'm going to tell you right now, if they want somebody that's been in business for many, many years and doesn't listen to crap and is going to tell you the truth, just take that number 2 out and put me in if it's in a large position. You are not going to hear me talk about property rights. You're going to hear me talk about the truth, and we'll get the right people in there, urban planners, so people will understand that they will have the truth. That's what it is. That's just the way it is. And then thank you very much, taking care of business.
I hear sirens. I think they're coming for you, Rainey.
I will.
All right.
We have more stuff going on in Oconee County, and let's see which direction. Would we like to talk about the switch in attorneys first?
Yeah. Oh, what? Oh, we do. Can I do a shout out real quick to the assessor's office? Real quick. I went to the assessor's office.
$25 my taxes went up.
And I went, well, mine didn't go up.
Yeah, are we going to start a GoFundMe?
I met these ladies in the assessor's office.
No, $28.66.
Well, mine didn't go up.
$24.
They were so nice, and I can imagine what they deal with. I promised them, since they are fans, they're going to start listening to the show, that I would do a shout-out. Here's your shout-out. Thank you. Now we can move on.
The last time we did a shout out to the tax assessor's office,
Colonel Quindell Bragg
started sending text messages about how we were talking crap about them. But we love you, ladies. We really do. And thank you for all you do. It's a hard job.
And by the way, I graduated with Christy. Christy and I went to school together. Great person. She's a great lady.
She's a good leader, man. Yep. She has
and
very good people,
she don't take crap.
Well, that's what we need.
So
sounds to me like she should be on the planning commission.
So some more crap. Today, front page, volume 118, number 203 of the
Since 1903, the Journal.
Yeah, Wednesday, October 19th, 2022.
Or collectively known as the Seneca Journal.
Right here at the top, above the fold, front page,
Again.
Durham gets new defense attorney.
Wow.
Because my cousin Vinny wasn't cutting it.
You know what? I read that last night, and I'm gonna give it it's an only opinion. Because first of all, I support any defendant that's going after aggressive defense. That's their right, innocent until proven guilty. But I'm now going to give just an opinion based on all the weird crap that was put out there about he was maligned because of politics. Then you had that planning commissioner guy and the weird crap where it even looked like he was trying to blame people on the lake and the powers of being all that crap.
No, there we go. It's the lake people.
Yeah, it was Lake Kiwi people. You know, they play naked pickleball, but that's all right.
And they play it naked.
It was the sheriff's office. It was the AG's office.
The governor.
It was the governor. Who else was it? I mean,
oh yeah,
it's been pretty much everybody.
Yeah,
and I'm not a lawyer, but I can tell you what: if I was a defense attorney and that weird shit was, God, and that weird stuff was happening, making my job harder, I would have to be in the interest of my client. I'd say I think you need new defense.
Well, you know, I went and did a little looking, and I think you guys ever watched that. Better Call Saul?
Yeah, it's a great show.
That's
Better
my
Call.
favorite show.
Yeah.
Well,
he's actually a good lawyer.
I think Jimmy McGill is, but the girl that's in that one with him.
She's a smart one, though.
Yeah, well, I think that's who this Odom. It reminds me a lot of.
She's got a good reputation. It's probably a smart move.
But there was two things that the picture of Miss Odom that popped up there. She looks like the pickleball girl that I posted online earlier.
Oh dear.
So I don't know, man. What his thoughts are?
You know what? In San Francisco, we all played naked pickleball.
Isn't that
here
kind
he
of what
is.
started all of this in the first place?
What, playing pickleball?
Yeah.
Well, online pickleball.
Yeah.
Well, you know what? When you think about it, we don't know. But when you look at his attorney, I'm sure his attorney. I know that guy's good.
I think it was a
so he probably
whoa. It's not a guy.
No. I'm talking about Denny.
Oh, well, this one's a girl.
Right. No, I know that.
And I think I know why he did this.
She specializes in domestic violence.
Well, you got to think of it logically here for a second. Why would you dump Denny to retain counsel and have a female?
Well, I saw my cousin Benny. I know how this works.
Did I make sense? You understand, right?
Yeah, I get it.
Because if you have 12 in the box and you have a female attorney, it kind of like, well, this is interesting here.
Yeah, but the thing about it is, if he's really trying to work on their marriage and all that stuff, is he really going to let Saul Goodman's girlfriend destroy his wife in court? That's not going to fix anything.
If he was smart... Well, I don't want to say if they were smart, they would change a venue. But they're not smart.
So, let's talk about the paper some more.
Oh, yeah.
Because just as equally, well, I'd say more important than his drama, is the stabbing that happened in Westminster.
Well, we had that. We also had
That was
someone.
West Union, or actually that was Walhalla.
Walhalla.
Yeah, it was Walhalla.
Stabbing.
Yeah, that's
and
way more important.
And then there was a guy died in a camper fire
And that was
in
Westminster.
Westminster the same night. That's what it was. It looks like who wrote that? It says the Journal staff. They just hodgepodged the whole damn thing together.
Riley's got to start doing a better
Well,
damn job.
I think that when Riley hodgepodges stuff together, he just don't put his name on it because he did a really good job on the Durham drama. But then over here, it's like everything all in one. But man, it's a terrible time. People get stabbed and burning to death, and a lot of death going on.
I will tell you, our emergency services for just the last couple of days,
Have been
they
busy.
have been completely busy. And I'm
So
telling
they
you.
need to shout out. Let's shout out to them.
Shout out to the
Chris.
emergency services of Oconee County. There you go. I mean, that's what happens when your county gets bigger and you're not planning for anything.
Well, if you notice and I don't know if anybody else caught on to this, but Moore Avenue is where also one of the missing people is from.
Oh,
I don't know
didn't
if you.
that.
Yeah.
Well, they're not looking for them. They're looking for a notebook.
Well, yeah.
Do you know what kind of notebook? I've seen several driving down the road today.
I have no idea.
Oh, okay.
But seriously,
I see it Staples.
the fellow that
You know they have Staples at Staples.
Well, no. They also had notebooks.
I'm being serious.
I know you
They're-
are.
they're-
I know.
I mean-
Kathy,
All right.
Excuse me, Kathy has the floor.
go ahead,
Ratings
Kathy.
rule of
Go
order.
ahead.
Actually, what I was saying, the murder that happened that occurred on Moore Avenue, that's actually where one of the missing ladies is from that they have been looking for in the cold case, is also from Moore Avenue, which I thought was a little strange
You know, that
and
is horrible
suspect.
for these people.
If anybody
I
had
mean,
noticed,
Well, at least they've got better investigators on the case now than they had back then.
yeah.
Cha-ching.
Well, I also think that these
It's
guys,
money well spent.
Not
Money
saying
well
they
spent.
they didn't before, but these guys have a lot of tenacity, and I think they really care. They really care.
I think so. They do. Yeah.
Yeah, I hope they find whoever did that very soon.
So you got something else good in the paper?
So, well, there's nothing really ever good in the paper, but Maddie Berkahoff from the Associated Press has decided that if you're a mosquito magnet, it's because you don't brush your teeth.
What?
Yeah, it says,
You said what?
it said it could be your smell. Yeah, see? You stink. That's why.
Well, they're
then.
attracted to sweat. You know.
Well, we do have some other news. Today it was just announced that Libby Embody is leaving the Main Street Walhalla program at the end of the month. That was announced on Wednesday because our show's being done today on Saturday morning. That's kind of some news.
Well,
She's the one that basically led that renovation, right?
she did a really good job bringing downtown Main Street Walhalla to something. But now that we're heading into recession, and you got those OCC guys on that city council up there, they're not looking to keep that going. They want a Dust Bowl back, so it's probably time for her to go.
How many? I'm just interesting.
She probably got tired of the dynamics. For the nice
Could
word
you
for,
imagine?
for having people complain? Yeah, you know, because when you think about it, what Edwards did with that team of people that pulled together, there's no way that anybody could have done that by themselves.
But
they
look
had a team that cared.
Like, and if you went Friday down to the merchant market, that place was loaded up. Even they had the Westminster had the Bigfoot Festival.
Oh, we were there. I was there Saturday.
There was like 7 or 8 things going on, and Walhalla was still crowded.
I mean, Westminster, the streets Saturday morning, they were crowded. They were over there for the Bigfoot Festival. I still haven't figured out if Bigfoot got that $600 worth of cosmetics
I don't
yet.
understand why some of these people try to drive that away.
Man,
I mean, that's turned this
Well,
town.
that's what DOCC says, that you can't have festivals. I mean, they published that. If you have festivals, that's just wrong.
I bet you if they were in it,
Culture.
they would take
Yeah,
responsibility.
culture, anything with culture.
Unless it's a Civil War reenactment.
Well, now that's true. I mean, if it's a Civil
that
War
culture,
reenactment,
though?
that's culture. I mean, that's culture.
It's heritage, not hate.
But I do want to get into that story a little bit later on. We've got 2 other big ones to talk about. Is, of course, SLED investigated. SLED said you need to do a forensic audit. But then
Yes, let's
the
talk
Westminster
about
City says, well, we're not going to do a forensic audit.
Yeah,
so,
we need to talk about that.
I was thinking about the makeup thing. You know, because it's Mary Kay, and then somebody had posted, and it's not actually makeup like ladies' makeup. It was like men's type things, and I was wondering if maybe the city had bought that for like either resale at like one of their festivals.
Door prizes, maybe.
Door prizes, or if they had bought that for like gifts for employees or incentives or things like that. I mean, because stuff like that is reasonable when you have employees or birthday gifts, that kind of thing. That's not outlandish.
Right, and you
it
know,
should be documented.
if they
I
take
mean, I get that. It should be documented, well documented, what it's for.
I think part of the
But-
problem is why were some of the people that were not city employees using a city credit card?
Yeah. I mean, well, and
But-
here again,
but
But
So-
again,
I didn't
they took
see
it
that.
here. But again,
Welcome.
you've got to understand it's a politic game because a former city council member put this together, requested a FOIA, then sent it to Sheriff Crenshaw. Then
You
of
got a
course,
conflict of interest.
there you go, conflict of interest, and then it went to SLED, and then SLED came back and says, well, you probably need to do a forensic audit. And then we'll go from there. But then it comes back, and there is no forensic audit now.
Okay, but here,
But they didn't find anything that was. They themselves did not find anything that was a blaring crime.
but
nothing
there
that they
is-
said, "Hey,
well,
we're going to arrest people."
But there is a conflict. There's an issue here with using a city credit card. You have procurement standards that you're supposed to adhere to, and a good stewardess of taxpayer money uses a procurement system.
right.
But are they capable of that in Westminster?
I hope
Well,
so.
Westminster
You got a-
has issues.
You got
I
a
mean,
city manager.
No, I mean,
Yeah, that's right.
Well, let me just say one thing. Okay, so when you look at what happened in the paper, and the guy that they quoted, he actually minimized it. Well, you know, wasn't that big a deal. Okay, here's the news flash. It's basically separation of duties. It's due diligence. It's good governance. It's what every business does. Now, the dollars didn't look like they were a lot, but I can truly tell you what has happened around the world and in our country here. Millions of dollars have gone missing for the same type of things, and you don't even know it. They got lucky. What they did is they got lucky that they caught something, and it wasn't that much. But the problem is they're not taking it seriously, and because they're not taking it seriously, they're going to lose. They're going to.
Well, but wait a minute. We've had that problem before.
yeah. I'm new here, so this happened before I got here. So I'm
I'm
just,
new too,
Just trying to figure
but
these
I'm a
things
progressive
out.
elitist.
Well,
And-
we know.
Right.
Kathy and I know where you're heading.
But I was reading something that somewhere in the sheriff's department, $500,000 went missing.
Yes.
When did that never happened in San Francisco?
To-
when did that happen? When did that happen?
Okay. Right before the sheriff's race of 2012, this happened in about 2011. It was a year before we had the race.
$500,000?
$500,000 became missing out of the drug fund account. Okay, so the money that the sheriff's department collected, they put into a special account. All right.
To buy drugs with?
No, well, they were to use it for that purpose. Exactly. This was money that they got off of arrest, that they seized money that went into a special account.
They could build a greenway with that.
Well, they could have if they had the money. So let me explain how this worked.
That's at the county level.
had the administrator of the sheriff's department. She had access to it. The sheriff had access to it, which was then James Singleton, and then the chief deputy. Well, there were some other people
Who's the
along
chi-
the
who was
way.
the chief deputy
At the
back
time
then?
was Terry Wilson. Okay, so they had access to this account. Well, all of a sudden, Mike Crenshaw started noticing that she was taking expensive trips, and there was other people in the sheriff's department, and it just kept going on and on. So he reported this to the sheriff. Mike Crenshaw did. Okay.
Right.
So after an investigation and
Did
all
they
this, that,
send
and
it
the
to
other,
SLED?
they did.
Figures.
She was arrested.
Who was arrested?
The lady,
Yeah.
she was the one taking the money out. There was handbags, vacations, Oh my gosh, the list just goes on and
You
on.
remember the scene from Goodfellas where everybody started driving up in Cadillacs?
Right.
Yes,
Yeah.
it was similar to this.
Wow.
So, anyway, SLED stopped investigating at $75,000. Well, we got it. That's it. We don't need to go no more. So,
But the penalty's the same.
well, we never found out where the rest of the money went to. However, we kind of know that there was other people in the department that got money too. Okay? So that's what started all of this issue, and that was a huge thing during the sheriff's race of 2012, because when Mike Crenshaw made the announcement, and incidentally, Mike is going to join us next Wednesday for the show, our recorded segment for next Saturday.
Does he have a warrant?
No, he does not yet. Not for me or you or anybody else. So this is how this all happened. That's why I'm saying is there's a lot of mistrust in Oconee County when it comes to
Ain't that the truth?
government, when it comes to money. When you start talking about missing money, and in issues like this, the first thing that goes up in citizens' minds is, oh God, it's another $500,000. Because I'm telling you, that was really embarrassing.
So
but
they can't
stopped.
find the money.
Nope,
They can't find the women.
they stopped at $75,000. That's it. SLED stopped after they found the $75,000. I mean, we're talking vacation. She, the person, individual, and I'm not going to name the person. If you want to find out, it's readily available. All you got to do is go research it on Google, and you'll find the information. But anyway, we had that, handbags, all sorts of designer stuff, and she was buying things for people within the sheriff's department too. So, yeah, that was $500,000 gone, and we never did get it back.
Did anybody tell Willie?
Oh my gosh, it was front page every time you turn around.
Oh, like Durham.
Oh, yes. It was huge. That was one of the biggest things that's probably far as money missing in Oconee County that in my lifetime, being 47 years, soon to be 47, I can't remember any other thing versus that, other than Doyle Cannon getting in a dump truck and driving away. That was huge. Do you remember that?
Yes.
Bless Doyle Cannon's heart. He's no longer with us. But yeah, that's a story for another
They
day.
didn't write a song about this, though.
They put him
there
in
was
a
no
dump
song.
truck. I've got the song.
There was no song about this,
No,
though.
there was no song about the
let's-
500,000.
Well, let me just
Well,
say
hold
when
on a
I
minute.
didn't say anything about the
Hold
money.
on a minute. I just want to bring this back around to something nice. Here in the paper today, it says that Jeannie Welch turned 90. So I think she deserves a little. I'm going to read this thing about it, then we'll give her a shout.
I'm ready.
It says
I'm a hair
today,
trigger.
today in Kiwi Key, resident and journal subscriber Jeannie Welch celebrated her 90th birthday. Welch has lived in Oconee County for years and was joined by close friends in a private celebration on Sunday at the Kiwi Club. The journal would also like to extend a very happy birthday to Miss Welch.
But do we want to do a shout
Yeah,
out?
go ahead.
All right. Lots of it. Nobody but me could touch the siren. And okay, now I want to say one thing about
Happy
the sheriff's
birthday, Miss
office.
Welch.
So
Are you going to do a stock report?
I will. if you like.
I want to do one thing about the
I'll read
sheriff's department. So Jeff,
Yes,
I
yes,
listened
Chris.
to that,
Yeah.
and that's really bad. And I'm being serious. But I'll tell you what's also very bad is we see this. We know there's money missing. We know somebody stole them or stole it. And then when you look at that, they didn't get caught, and now there's mistrust. But the problem is, you've got people in that sheriff's department every single day that sacrifice and do great jobs for us. And what's happening is when you see that kind of crap, then it ends up making everybody look bad, and that's really wrong.
but you know,
And wait a
it's-
minute, let me give you one example. Now, you had your meeting with your little group of what they are, right?
Little group.
The OCRP.
Yep.
And then that's when you guys had that first one over at Ebenezer. And that poor guy, man, was being respectful, and he left. Didn't you have a deputy or somebody there?
Yeah, there was. Yeah,
And what
an
happened?
investigator.
And what happened in the corner?
Well, someone peed in the corner.
We
Yeah,
still
somebody-
have not found the phantom pisser.
No, but think about that. This guy,
Jasper.
wasn't this guy who's supposed to be the one that was going to, what happened? So that makes me think like, this guy's associated with, I don't even know the guy. I'm not blaming you. I'm just saying from the outside.
I am glad that Chris, I'm glad you said
Well,
that.
yeah, that just gives you the perception.
Because let me give you the perception. We're talking about Barry Owens is who we're talking about, and this is the same person that is standing up for pedophiles. That's a fact. Go take that to the bank. Okay? He's a pastor. Now, there's a fine line here. If you're going to be a sheriff's department investigator and you're going to be a pastor and you're investigating sex crimes, do you really think, to God's sakes, you should be on the defense side? Well, he's a good man. There's a huge issue here that I have with that, and I think a lot of folks in Oconee County agree with me. There's a big issue here. That's a question I really want to ask Sheriff Crenshaw. I mean, there's a balance here. Is he going to be a pastor? Is he going to speak for people that have convicted sex crimes? Or is he going to be an investigator? It's got to be one or the other. You can't be both.
Yeah, that's a fine line.
It's a fine line.
I understand exactly what you're saying.
One more thing from today's paper.
What? Wait a minute, is that a sale? Is that a sale?
Yeah, Anderson Beverage Outlet is giving 5% off any single item. And you can get your Hennessy down there. Hennessy is only $89.97.
Hey, Chris, siren, baby!
But that's you're talking about $90? Yeah. Oh, that's lake booze. That's lake booze. Woo! Woo! That's right by the Grey Poop Pond.
Right.
Hey, do you get a discount being a vet?
Wait a minute.
I should get a senior discount. You get a discount because you're a vet.
I know. I mean, it says there if you live near the lake, you get a discount.
Please tell me
Well,
what the hell
I
lake
live-
booze is.
I mean,
in my day, it was moonshine.
No, I mean, they talk about $90 here, and he looked at me with that twinkle in his eyes because I'm from San Francisco, mocking me, thinking, "Oh, look at the lake people."
All right. Well, hey, listen. We got to talk.
All right.
Bring
Bring it back. You're the one that moves us off.
Look, you're absolutely right. There's good people in law enforcement in this county.
Yeah,
I agree.
there
And
are.
if you take a look at West Union,
Oh, God,
I knew this was coming.
I think that they go through cops over there like, you go through socks. You even wearing socks?
I don't wear socks.
Actually,
I know,
they go
because I have lined Crocs.
No, they go.
Lake people have lined Crocs.
They
Go
go
ahead.
through chief of police's like people with bloomer crickets.
Wow.
It's pretty tough when you got bloomer
Yeah,
crickets.
But is
So-
it the chief's fault?
Actually,
Well,
you're pretty good there, Kathy.
Is it actually the chief's fault?
They have so
No.
they have so much drama in West Union.
And their only population is what, 200?
It's like 304.
Okay, so Salem, basically Salem's bigger, and they don't have any issues. I mean, seriously.
I never hear anything.
Yeah.
Does Salem have a police force?
Yes,
They do.
They
Well,
have a
Holland does
chief.
too.
They
I
actually
don't hear
do.
anything about. I don't
Hey.
hear anything about Westminster.
Westminster has a chief of police.
They do.
They do.
When do you hear anything about Seneca Police? Never.
Oh, well,
No, they do. They're doing a lot with the community. There's a lot
yeah,
of
they're
outreach
more
programs and a lot of
involved and
stuff.
more engaged.
Yeah, and Tim Rice up there in Walhalla, he's doing a good job.
Yeah.
That's why I
think
say
he
it.
does
It's
Tim
good
Rice
people.
is awesome.
But back to West Union.
And I'm not saying West Union cops are. I'm just
But,
saying.
but so if,
It's not a full time. It's not a full time force.
right, well, it's like two people.
Yeah, you had
And
a
if-
chief, and then you had an officer.
How do you take time off for yourself?
Well, when you take time off, the sheriff's department runs the calls in West
Right.
Union.
Well, I mean, but for real though,
Seriously.
what is two people going to do if they're working split shifts? And I mean, really, is he supposed to sit in the office and do what the mayor wants?
it's a lot of drama in that mayor's office.
There you go. Now you
Well,
said
it seems that they think that.
they think
That's what
that.
it sounded like in the paper, yeah. And then that lady Frederick, she decided to resign because she couldn't make any positive effort, moving
That's right.
forward with that lady that was in the USA Today back in 2013. What's her name? Oliver.
Mayor Linda Oliver.
Oh God,
Yeah.
in heaven.
Yes.
You know what, guys? I'm telling you seriously. Nobody. The woman will never
It's
live
so
down. This
bad.
this was
It's so
this.
bad, y'all.
Her comments were international and totally across the
Now,
country.
this was 2013, right? When she made that.
2013. And I'm telling
And
you
It was
what.
picked
No
up.
way.
It
And
was
all-
picked up nationwide.
Yes, and I'm going to tell you something, and it's the truth, and I'm going to read something, and I'm going to be honest with you. It is disgusting, but you know what? We can't dance around this because when you look at this, and I'm serious, this hurts people.
Are you going to read
This
it?
hurts people. You don't want me to?
No, are you? I mean, no, if Dr. Thorsland was here, we would not be able to read it
God, I can't wait to get on that subject.
Yeah.
because it's vile.
I'd
and
read it.
It
It's
is
vile.
vile.
If
It is
you were
vile.
Dr. Thornton, I'd read it anyways.
No, you would.
Oh, I will. with
That's
you.
going
We're
to
taking
require
him to the board next time.
that's
tell
going to
you
require him a 10-day
He'll-
suspension.
hey,
We are
he'll-
very open in
but
San
he will-
Francisco.
I got another paper.
He
brother.
would only serve 3.
He will chew you out.
Okay,
Just
so
wait,
this
that's
is
coming.
this is
Spill it.
so.
What's
This
he
is
say?
this is just reported by WYFF4 October 18,
That's not
2013.
national.
The mayor of a small upstate town is under fire after Facebook posts criticizing the decision allowing gay couples to apply for marriage licenses. Mayor Linda Oliver used the word queer
Whoa.
in a posting objecting to the Register of Deeds in Buncombe County, North Carolina, allowing gay couples to apply for marriage licenses Tuesday.
Buncombe County, that's Asheville, right?
Yeah.
Post said,
What the hell she care what goes on in
"What
Asheville?
Here's the post.
knows?
It's ugly. I'm going to apologize, but guys, this is bad for the country.
Take your kids
what's
to another room.
it gonna take? What'd you say?
Take your kids to another
Let our
room.
listeners to take
Yes.
their kids to turn on some cartoons.
This is
Advi-
the post. This
listener
was in the
discretion
paper,
is advised.
WYFF4. What's it going to take to get these queers to realize they don't need a piece of paper? God will not bless their union because he
That's not
plainly
true.
speaks against queers in the Bible. Want to cover your queer with insurance? Buy a policy. Want your queer to get stuff when you die? Make a will. The comment was deleted. She apologized and said she will use homosexual in the future. Now, there was a Facebook page in here that
Use
says
Fairy or
that-
Daisy or something.
that saw
Hang
her
on.
ouster as a mayor. Oliver says the Facebook page hurt her feelings. She said her feelings about a homosexual reflect the way she was raised. That is crap. And let me tell
Wait,
you
what did
something.
she say
wants
now?
to, she said that the Facebook page
Said she
asking
can't
for her
help
to
it.
be
She was raised a
ousted
bigot.
hurt her feelings.
Oh, wait a minute. So, she can't help the way she was raised.
Yeah,
well,
she
that's-
was raised a
that's-
bigot,
that's
so
just
that
an
makes it
excuse.
So, do
okay.
you think that those boys that wrote that rap song were raised that way?
Yeah, so that,
Certified hood classic.
that makes it okay. So if your
Because
parents
my
are
daddy acts
bigots,
that
then that
way,
makes it okay,
then-
y'all. That's
oh.
what she's saying.
Maybe daddy or mama acts that way.
Or both?
Or both.
Gag.
Okay, so I'm going to when you look at this, I got one last thing to read because this is really the good part. So let me say something. I got news for people. And everybody knows you got gay people in West Virginia. You got gay people everywhere.
Where?
That's just
And
the way
Jesus
it is.
loves them too, y'all.
And it's nobody's damn business but theirs. And
That's right.
I'll put my quarter in there.
Yeah.
And what's happening is when you start this kind of crap, what you do, that's why those laws are in place. Because if not, these people are crucified. So here's the thing. This was in the Advocate. Some residents have urged that Oliver be recalled, but she attempted to justify her position in an interview this week with TV station WHNS in Greenville. All I can say is, if people want to crucify me, that's fine. Well, there you go. You're up on the cross. I know that following Jesus, I'm going to be crucified. She also said of same-sex marriage, I don't want it rammed down my throat. Well, I don't think anybody was doing it really, but I don't want it rammed
not
down
how
my
that
throat.
works.
The way I feel toward homosexuals is how I've been brought up, and that will now use the word homosexual instead of queer. Okay, so here's the thing. That's about hate. All that it is hate. And the thing about it is, when this all took place, and she went before the council, she's still mayor.
Oh, yeah.
But that,
And
that
obviously she's gotten reelected.
and you know what?
Yeah, she has. She's got reelected since then.
And there's nothing here about being politically correct. What it is, folks, it's hurting people. It hurts people.
You know, I don't care. I don't care if you are gay or not.
Who
I don't really
cares?
care. I don't care.
It
Man,
doesn't matter.
could you imagine having a rainbow flag on your window going through
Well,
her
I
town?
mean, wait a minute. There's
the
a
chief of police would have to get out of his chair and pull you over and write you a ticket.
You're forgetting that the writing candidate called my signs pride signs.
Really?
Yes.
Were you not proud of your son?
You don't
I'd
remember?
much rather have
the-
a pride
the-
sign on my car than
The
a
first
Confederate
signs
flag.
that I had stars, Oconee County, and I had a yellow star, and he made reference, it was on social media post, the write-in candidate, Jazzy Jeff's pride signs.
But where did Jesse Jeff buy his pride signs?
Locally.
Not in Austin.
So
Correct.
does the write-in candidate, is he a bigot too? I mean, is
Well,
that
it's
what
not-
we're saying
you know,
here?
Look at that.
What
What
do
does
you
that
think?
tell you?
So
You just answered that.
He
What-
doesn't. I guess that answers the question about getting those folks to vote for him.
Yeah, I mean that. We
Don't
can
write
put-
him in,
What
y'all.
kind of people would support that crap?
I mean,
Oh, do look.
There's a picture of him.
There's a former excommunicated at the secret conclave that holding up Perry Smith signs. You know, that those people will.
Yeah.
And there are some people, believe it or not, that will believe anything because they're just looking for somebody to follow.
But I
They don't
gotta-
want to check the stories. They don't want to find out
Yeah, I
because he's gonna fight for us.
But- but-
Literally,
but-
he's gonna
but-
fight for
but
us.
You know what's funny though is I got some inside information about that picture.
Really?
There was several people called the spotted pig and asked them, "Is that down there? Do you support
Yes.
that?" Just kept calling them, and they said, "Ain't us."
Support
I don't know
what?
what it was.
The pictures that they had with
Very split.
excommunicated
Fluffy
OCRP,
split.
yeah, the split people that were standing up there holding the signs. You know, at first looking at it, I'm thinking, oh my God,
Hey, but just remember, if you listen to, you're not listening to Sunny 107.9 and you're over there on 101.7 and you're hearing them stupid commercials for him. He's going to take your values, his values that he thinks represents you to Columbia.
golly dang.
did you notice that the values were taken straight out of the manifesto of the
Oh yeah.
former group that we do not speak of?
All right, yeah, and he said he's the only conservative Republican in the county. Well, I got news for you. He doesn't even know what a conservative Democrat is. But
can't-
I'm pretty sure that's what he is.
Well, when I start
Conservative
looking
An old time, I would consider that.
And there
old
are
time-
conservative Democrats.
There are.
I mean,
There are.
if
No, that's never happened according to him.
Bullying,
look it up. Look it up. There, yes.
intimidation, hate.
14% of Democrats are conservative and consider
So,
themselves conservative. So
Why, do
there's
we
a
want to talk
statistic
about this
for you.
before or after?
I want
the
to
Those are
say,
numbers.
I
I
want to say,
want to. Well, we need to tie that
break?
in.
Because when we talk about bullying and hate and
Right.
things like
But
that,
Jeff,
that's a really-
Jeff,
19 minutes
I
left to
wanna
go in the
say-
show.
Let me say one thing since
Go ahead.
because Randy always tries to hog the camera. I want to say one thing. Okay, so this is to the people that
the new
want.
glasses
This is
he
the
wants to
people
show
that
off.
want. This is the people that want him to win. I'm going to give you a little tip from San Francisco. He won't get elected, but if he's elected, you won't get any money in this county. He'll go down there, and the only thing he's going to do is be making videos outside of chambers.
They pissed me off in
Yeah.
here. And they kicked
He's
my
going to
ass
get one of
out.
those
Wait,
low
who-
country
who
people.
did that at
one
the
of those
Capitol? That
cultural
was
people.
AOC, wasn't it?
Oh yeah, and they're going to
Man,
deal
she's
with
hot.
that crap for about 4 seconds, and he'll be ostracized. And guess what? The whole county's going to suffer. So have at it.
The
You'll have to-
county is suffering right now.
Oh, yeah.
We are a laughing stock throughout the state. And there has been other, like the Post and Courier picked up on the news story about the OCRP. It was in there about we ousted the chairman, or, he was ousted.
Right.
But again, what part of this you don't understand? They broke a rule. They broke a rule. It had nothing to do. I mean, what's the vote? 14-8. I'm still looking at it. The vote hadn't changed. It's still 14-8. He
But
broke,
only 4 of those.
yeah,
ECs
only 4 of the
from the
EC
lake
were from the
people.
lake people. But we do have one of the members of the OCC that's on our Facebook page
like
now.
who?
Would you like to give a shout out to Mr. Kenny Charles?
I saw
did.
that.
Yeah.
I saw
Welcome,
that.
Kenny. We love you.
Yeah, well,
Thank you, Kenny.
Yeah, I got to tell you, though. He's like, he didn't like our signs, I guess. This is
No,
who did?
Hey,
Kenny Charles, he didn't
These
like
are
our
our group.
deuces.
We love you, deuces.
he doesn't know sign language.
Well, I guess that.
No, it's not this.
Yeah.
It has to be this.
Oh, dear.
When you find the video, you remember that
Yeah,
video, that
yeah.
clip I've got?
We've got it. still.
Oh,
Yeah,
I
he's
didn't know
flipping.
that.
Yeah.
hey,
Let's
so-
go ahead. We're not going to take a break.
No, no. Let me just
So
say one thing
we're
about.
talking about hate and bullying.
Yeah, but
and
wait a minute.
let's talk about how.
I want to understand. He's an ME. He's a manufacturing and engineer, the write-in candidate, right?
No, he's not.
Well, that's what he says.
He's not showed
Where did
anybody
he
where
get his
went to
bachelor's of
school.
science? I worked with a lot of it. I was never smart enough to be in it. It's a very prestigious job. A real engineer is. But where did he get his bachelor's of science in mechanical engineering? I'm just asking, guys, because he says he is.
Well, there's domestic engineers.
They're sanitation engineers.
Yeah,
They're sandwich engineers.
Yeah.
sandwich engineers.
Sandwich
so
engineers.
is he a manufacturing engineer?
He's a plastic puller.
Okay. So
There's nothing wrong
Hey, that's
with
a
working
question.
in manufacturing.
not
I mean,
at
that's
all.
Not,
I worked in manufacturing. The
There's
point
nothing
is,
wrong with
But
that.
the
Don't-
disingenuousness.
I'd like to
of-
know: is he a real engineer? That's a fair
Like,
question.
like Jim Mann is a real engineer.
Absolutely.
Did you know he was in Popular Mechanics more than once for some of the cutting edge technology that he was working on when he
Look
worked
how
in
he
NASCAR?
handles himself.
Well, that's a true professional.
With dignity. I'm just asking if you're an engineer.
But, like, that guy-
write in, tell us where you got your degree. I think that might be. I hate the word. I can't remember. I think it's called fake news. I don't. I feel uncomfortable asking, but I would like to know. As a voter, I would like to know that.
I mean, if he does in everything I'm an engineer.
Well, I want to.
Well, tell us,
Choo-choo.
explain to me what kind of engineer. Are you a materials handler? Do you pop poly or your thing? What there's a big difference.
Yeah.
Do you make golf holes or golf balls or an engineer? I think of someone that's an architect, engineer, or civil engineer, or
Mechanical, electrical,
or maybe
industrial.
maybe a broadcast engineer.
But
Which I am. I'm a broadcast engineer. You know why? I have a first class from the Federal Communications Commission that says you are an engineer. You are a radio broad television engineer.
Right, so we're entitled to know what his certifications are and where he got his degree in mechanical engineering.
Credentials.
Yes.
And if you're an engineering technician, that's.
I'm ready to start reading this paper again.
Oh my goodness.
Okay, before we go any further, don't forget Oktoberfest is going on in Walhalla this weekend.
Oh,
and-
yeah.
hey,
Can you
and
forget?
We'll be there.
And the Republicans are going to have a joint tent, I hear.
Friday night.
With who?
The OCRP, the OCRW,
Is that Saturday?
And the OCRM is supposed to be there all weekend.
Is that all weekend? Okay.
Yeah.
But that's not a joint. That's that's the R's. Where's the D's going to be?
Well,
The D's will be there.
I don't know.
Maybe
They'll
y'all
be there.
maybe y'all all could get together and,
Nah.
and sing Kumbaya.
Well,
What are they going to serve? They're going to serve hot dogs?
but the thing about it is
Brats
we
and
spent-
beer, baby.
But we spent 18
Really?
months in the Republican Party being, completely split apart.
Because you
But-
can't go to festivals.
Right. But now, even though they missed the deadline on purpose, so that they
And celebrate other heritage.
couldn't go to Oktoberfest, Pat Murray and those ladies somehow
Are going to look
they made it happen.
Are they going to have grape
And
poupon?
they probably won't.
no, but they're going to have bratwurst and sauerkraut and German
So,
beer.
There's going to be a lot of good stuff down there. I think
There'll
people
be
should go.
mustard.
We're going to go. We already planned
Hey,
it.
but hey,
You
they're-
ready?
And generally, they're going to bus people from downtown Walhalla to
Sertoma Field.
But no
Hopefully,
cat
if they
bus.
if they
Did you see that? No cat bus.
Well, they're going to use school buses because
But
Oh!
cat
Oh!
bus.
Oh, wait a minute. I want a siren on that.
Oh, yeah. Well, you caught me off guard.
that's why they all got the flu this week.
You don't get sirens without cowbell.
Ladies and gentlemen,
Ruins rules.
Mr. Chairman, I have the floor for about 30 seconds.
Yes.
Rainey is about to go into a news story that has been dear to my heart all week. And just remember, we first reported it last week on the show. We were live. We told things what were going to happen. Little did I know that
Fortune
that Friday
tellers.
meeting was going to turn into a chew-out session that our District 2 rep to South Carolina House was going to take the heat from the Superintendent of Education.
We got to hear this.
Ladies and gentlemen, I present to you now, Rainey.
State
Sir
represent-
Randy Bond, remember?
Yeah.
Excuse me, Sir Rainey Bond.
Yeah, I've got one still wearing my medal.
Yep.
All right, but for real though, it says state rep chewed out by Oconee superintendent. Why were you at my meeting? As long as I'm here, I will rule. That's what I heard.
Yeah.
Who said that?
Well, that's what the
Basically,
Saddam
that's-
Hussein said at the OCRP meeting.
Yeah.
the other
He
night.
did. I didn't know that.
Yeah, it's true.
Oh, wow.
So, but yeah, I mean this one, just I run everything. It's like, why do they even have a school board if those trustees aren't going to stand up to this man?
Well, it makes it seem like they're
Oh,
hiding
I'm
something.
going to let y'all have your conversation before I get in. Because
so-
when I get started, I'm not going to stop. So
You're
go
a
ahead.
maniac.
I
So,
am.
so apparently, Mr. Sanford was invited to this meeting by his constituents because they're concerned about what, I guess, let me take my glasses off. They were concerned that they weren't getting a fair shake.
That's correct.
Because all the other counties around us got a $2,000 bonus for their school bus drivers, right?
Yep.
Do you want me to read it for
But
you?
now, no, I got it.
Okay.
So they didn't get one. But according to Dr. I run this show. What's his name?
Thorsland.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They didn't deserve one, apparently, because they got a 4% raise.
Okay. Keep going.
Inflation was 8%. We got a 4% raise.
Keep going.
And they get paid more than those folks that live in counties like McCormick
Wrong.
Aiken and places like that. But they pay more than the state minimum, what he said.
Ding, ding, ding.
I'm just telling you what he said. And
Yeah.
but another thing about this article was the state representative went to this meeting. But
Because
I don't
he was
see,
asked.
But what I don't see is right-hand candidate at this meeting.
He wasn't asked.
Right. But
Well, he wasn't a fault for the bus drivers anyway.
No.
You don't think?
Nah.
No, because that would be more money out of people's
That's
pockets.
what cutting taxpayers' money. I ain't gonna do that.
Oh, okay. But I mean, he came to the school board early on and sued them for
CRT.
well, not the
Teaching history.
Yeah.
the teachers are trying to show history and equality amongst all the kids in the
And that
in the
people could
school.
be different and could be friends.
You know,
Oh, we can't do that.
Oh, no, not at all.
And
I know
wanna
you
make-
don't want to make people
but-
feel bad about history.
But here,
No, you want to make the kids, the 5-year-olds, feel bad about their
but
home
here's the
and
thing: this
everything.
guy's
Yeah.
he's not original in anything he's done. I submitted a FOIA request for the CRT stuff days ahead of him, and he just kind of copied me. He's always 2 steps behind me, and it makes him real mad. So if you're listening, catch up. And you can put that on your taters. Ketchup's good on.
And smoke it. But
but anyway,
give it away to young kids.
So let's talk
No
about
French fried taters.
Golly, man. Anyhow, the school bus meeting. They got a new financial planner guy up there now.
Yep. From New
CFO
York.
From New York City.
New York City.
I bet he's got a house on the lake too.
Maybe.
Is he
But
one of
not-
those lake people?
I mean,
Oh,
from
my
New
God.
York City.
You know what? New York and San Francisco, totally different.
But he went in there, and do you have the bus schedules, like how much money they get paid for first, second?
Okay, I can go for the
So-
first year if you with no experience was $13 and some change. Okay, that's for Oconee County.
$12.50 at McDonald's.
Well, but wait a minute.
and
you
they're
know, they-
driving our kids around.
And all the requirements, CDL training, annual physicals, everything. And a lot of the times those annual physicals, for example, if you have to have a physical every year, certain people require it. You have to pay for that out of your pocket.
What? The county doesn't pay for it?
They'll pay for one every 2 years.
Well, then that's all you get.
But the state, some requires that people that have borderline diabetic conditions for CDLs, you have to have them every year. You have to have a medical card every year. But in that, what we discussed last week with that letter that we were sent, we were supposed to allegedly be one of the best paid. We were paying our bus drivers the best. Not true. Because in Pickens County, I pulled it, got the information.
Yep, I was reading it.
School bus drivers start out at $15 an hour. $2 more dollars. Okay? They go all the way to 28 years.
Wait a minute.
They make more money in Pickens County driving a bus.
Wow.
But what I want folks to understand.
But have you seen the libraries in Pickens County?
Yeah. Have you
you
seen
seen
our
that?
libraries here in Oconee County?
Have you seen the infrastructure in Pickens
Yes.
County?
Have you seen it? But I want to explain something about bus drivers, and I want people to understand this.
Though they keep pulling books out of the library. Don't they?
Yeah, they do. And they're going to try to do that here, is what I heard.
Anyway, that's going to happen. They'll get their way.
That is terrible.
I don't
But anyway,
know about that.
So a bus driver, a typical day of a bus driver, they get up at 5:30. They get to their respective lots at 6 o'clock, 6:30. First bus is out. So they work 2.5, maybe 3 hours to begin with on the morning shift. If some bus drivers are lucky and they want to get extra hours, they can go into the schools. But, they will basically be janitors and maybe a teacher's aide if they're lucky. So then they come back that afternoon. They get in their bus. They leave the lot 2 o'clock, 2:30 to go pick up elementary. They run a route. They come back, pick up middle and high school, and they're done by 5:30 or 6. Well, basically, you're really only getting 6 hours a day. So they consider full-time 30 hours a week. That's full-time. You get health insurance, all the benefits. So, for example, if someone is making $20 an hour, okay, at the higher end, time that all of that plus your deductions and everything is taken for the 12 months, because you get a check for 12 months, you only work 180 days, you're making less than $18,500 a year.
How's that going to work when they go to option 3 on the calendar?
It's not working. It's not going to work. It's going to be worse.
You're
still going to be driving 180 days no matter what you're looking at. You're only paid, a bus driver is only paid for 180 days. A school teacher is only paid for 190 days. Now you see the difference?
I'm assuming, I go out on a limb, they're not in a union.
No, there is no union. No.
You can't have that here.
Oh, heck no.
Oh, no.
It's the right to work state.
It's a right to work state. You can work.
I won't tell you what we call that in my house.
But what I'm saying is, these bus drivers had a legitimate concern with all of what's going on, and they feel like they're treated like crap. We've had some people that have made comments on our Facebook page. One of them was a former bus driver, Miss Tammy. She wrote on it. She told the whole story. It's the truth of the matter is.
Do you think that some of this comes back to the fact that the director of transportation
does
not know anything about what he's doing?
No, well, we proved that. I said it last week. He did not have his CDLs.
Right here in the paper that
he doesn't.
He's not even a commercially licensed driver.
But he's telling bus drivers how to drive. That's a fact. He's getting on school buses and telling people, drivers who have the certification, oh, you can't do this, this, and this. Well, if I was still working there and he had come on my bus, I would have given him the proverbial Oconee wave, which would have been my middle finger. But it goes to the top, guys, folks, sitting here. It goes to the top. This is 1, 2, 3. It keeps going on and on. But our board just gave this guy a contract extension and a raise and all the other perks of benefits. Oconee County Schools have been suffering under his leadership from day one. We had the opportunity to have one of the greatest superintendents. Take a look at Greenville County, by the way. Burke Royster, who is superintendent of Greenville County. He could have been right here in Oconee County.
Well, Oconee County wasn't going to pay for him.
No, he was willing to stay here. He wanted to be involved. But Greenville County recognized his talents. He's a great superintendent. Greenville County Schools under Burke Royster has excelled. Prior to Thorsland being superintendent, we had a superintendent, Dr. Mike Lucas. He was a people person. He was involved in the schools. Things were really good. Teacher morale was at a all-time. The employees were enjoying life. Things were good. And then all it takes is one person to just totally screw up when you've got too many chiefs.
But if somebody tells on them, they're going to get fired for
That's
being a
right.
whistleblower.
The teachers cannot voice their opinions. If they do, they're put on a whole little list. Well, we've got to get rid of her. Or if you can't hack it in the classroom, they get you out of the classroom and give you a job. They find something at the district office. That's happened numerous times. People that should have no business being in a classroom, they get a job.
Well,
or if something happens, they do something that we would be fired, they move them to the district office. That's happened before, and I can tell you guys what happened off the air.
But you know what? There's a lot of good people in the county. They're teachers. They're administrators.
There are administrators. When I say local, I'm talking local administrators at the schools. But their hands are tied. They can only do so much. Why not let the creativity of the local administrators be good for what's their schools? Because they know their kids. They know what they've got to deal with instead of being tied. It's kind of like he's micromanaging and doesn't even know what he's micromanaging.
Yeah, I think it's time. I think it's time for people.
It's time.
It's time for people to start standing up, because all this silence and silencing people, and that's a community thing. It's not just the schools, but that's the whole atmosphere for the community. Something is going on, and everybody's like, "Shh, we shouldn't."
You need a board of trustees.
Talk about that.
We need a board of trustees that's going to stand up.
Then you have another layer. But let me ask a question.
But here,
let me just ask.
Hold on a minute. I want to tell you what I saw Monday. again, Monday, I've talked about this, I've talked about this, and I've talked about this. Most of those trustees up there just stand there staring out into the audience.
Space.
Just waiting on us to leave so
Yep.
they could go into executive session and be told by Thorsland
Yep.
what to do.
Exactly.
I mean, there was no questioning, there was no debate, there
Yep.
was no discussion on any of that
Well,
stuff.
they don't answer questions from what I've seen when people do go there and they speak or they come to them.
Now, this is one good thing that did happen. I mean, I don't know if you saw it the next day when they released it, but they did have a trustee superintendent feedback time where they had a free time to speak to the audience about the things that the audience brought up. And, Thorsland talked about how great the school bus drivers are and how they're getting paid better.
No, they're not.
And he's looking for a brighter day and more pay to come.
No, he's not.
So, it sounded, almost
The
genuine.
same crap we've been listening to for 5+ years.
But it's flu season. It's flu season. And next week, when all these bus drivers all got the flu.
Well, they got the flu this week because
Type A is going around.
yeah,
Yeah.
they got
It
the
really
flu.
is.
I mean, they got the flu yesterday afternoon.
And so, but here's another thing, is there's a percentage of drivers that must be had to even have school, right? You can't have school unless so many of the drivers hold their routes.
No, you can have school.
Because I was my understanding was if kids can't get to school, you can't have school.
Okay, so let me.
Well,
ask.
you got a problem though too with that because that's not necessarily the case.
Okay, but
What about all the car riders?
yeah, but Jeff, let me ask a question.
Okay.
We started out talking about pay for bus drivers, and now we're talking about all the issues and people, perceptions of these issues. And I'm not saying they're not legit, but I'm saying we're going apples to oranges and off to grapefruit. So let's just talk about this. The issue that we're talking about is money. Okay, so if you talk about money, then it's no different than business. You've got these guys. They're either paid at market at a competitive wage, or they're not.
They're
okay?
not.
And if they're not paid at a competitive wage, then what's going to happen is you're going to lose them to the market, meaning pickers or whatever.
No, you're not.
Well, what are they going to do?
They're going to go find other jobs where they can make more money, and then the kids
well,
are going to suffer.
The point is, you're going to lose them.
You're gonna
going
lose
to
them.
lose them for a competitive wage.
Right.
So what I don't understand is how he can say it's competitive when all these numbers are showing it's not. So that's up to the school board to say, listen, Dr. Thorsland, these guys aren't being paid competitive. We're going to lose them. You got to do something about it. And oh, by the way, taxpayers, if that means that we got to raise taxes for this, what do you want us to do? You want us to shut the schools down? Or, you run it like a business and maybe there's some other fat you kind of, okay, wait.
You did say the key.
What?
What you just said. Run it like a business.
Exactly.
But it's not being run like a
And
business.
I'm not saying it's not. All I'm saying is you've got several issues. My perception of the first issue is we're talking about pay equity. If the pay equity is not there, that's a serious issue because that not only kills the morale, but you're going to lose these people to the market.
I think it's leadership.
The second, in the end, it's all leadership.
It's leadership.
It's
the
a
lack
responsibility.
Of. There is no leadership.
I just can't believe. I'm not finished. I cannot believe you cannot understand that you have to understand that market. You have HR people in this school system. No, wait a minute. No. I'm just saying.
Look at our state, though. We got a woman running who isn't even qualified.
Okay.
Who got her master's in less
I'm
than
not
6
disagreeing.
months.
I'm trying to be objective in an opinion.
But
You have people that are responsible for compensation. It is their job to make sure that Thorsland and the board understands that when they're not being paid competitively, and they have to put a plan to address it. If they don't, that's on them. I'm just telling you, that's just the way it works.
You have to have an HR person first.
Okay.
Well, hold on a minute.
They have to care.
I think we've beat the school up enough.
Well, I wasn't done with sourcing. Now, if
Everyone
you
is-
started it with.
Hey, I just want to tell you this: everyone is done with Thorsley.
Yes, they are.
Sorsland.
All I'm saying is,
They're done.
it doesn't
Oconee
matter.
County
You're
is
talking
done.
about.
We're done.
We're done
Let's
with
talk about this action with Sandifer. That, to me, was way out of line. You got a South Carolina state rep that gives a crap about his county and gives a crap about his constituents, and I'm just reading the paper, and then you got this guy. I don't understand.
And he's also, our representative is on the House and Ways and Means Committee, which is the most powerful organization in the state legislature.
So, well, the point is,
But the point of it is the way you
can't do that. If this guy can't do the job, he's got a contract. If he can't do the job, then the people have to say it, and they got to push the county and say, we don't want the guy. They're going to have to pay him off and get him out, and you get somebody else.
It's not that easy. It's not that easy.
You can pay. He's got a contract. You can buy his contract.
How? When the board of trustees has to be the one to initiate it, and they ain't gonna do a damn thing.
Well, I think
I'm not talking about
there's
people not
elections
doing
have
their job.
consequences.
I'm talking
Yes,
about
they
there is a
do.
way and a process in any county to get rid of the superintendent.
Not in Oconee County.
Well, I tell you,
I get what you're saying.
I'm just saying there's a process.
but
if the
we're not-
people don't have the courage to do it, that's it. That's different.
all right,
That's a
let's
different.
talk about something
And
else.
guess what? They were voted in.
listen. Tuesday night is burger night at Mayberry's.
Where's neighbors?
It's down at Mayberry's. It's down on.
Speaking of
Ram-
which,
it's right down
what
there.
about all
That's
that
right over
food
here in
you were
North Townville.
cooking the other night
Yeah.
and sending us pictures of when we were hungry?
Oh, so this weekend I got to spend the weekend camping with about 300
Past weekend.
kids.
Past Saturday.
Last Saturday.
Yeah.
300 kids, boys from the upstate with the Trail Life, which is Trail Life USA is a Christian organization that when the Boy Scouts went left, they stayed right. And they, if men don't teach boys, the future men won't know. So we had them up there tying knots, shooting guns. They were, archery. They were canoeing, building fires. It
Can
was
I
a
go
really
next
great
time? I want to go.
Yeah, sure. Sign
I
up.
think it would be
a
fun.
be a registered adult. We need all the help we can get.
Wait a minute. How much time do we have?
So, anyways,
I'm gonna give you about 3 more minutes.
All right,
Okay, so
listen.
Hell, I don't. What about?
The Blue Marble over where that one candidate.
Do they
had
have any
his thing,
coupons?
They do. 10% off. Dine-in food purchase.
Where?
Right here.
I'm going to be going there. I want
Yeah.
that.
Hey,
Can I have that?
Friday evening. That's when we need to be there.
Oh, I don't want to go there.
Anyways,
Ryan-ins there.
10% off. But on this same here 10% off page, it says booming business. County Council asked to amend the budget for increased rock quarry
To the rock quarry.
sales.
Yeah.
So when Mickey Haney was attacking the budget, did he?
He made reference about the rock quarry. It was a waste.
Right.
And Glenn Hart said we should get rid of it. I forgot about that.
But now,
Why in the
but
hell
now
would
he-
they say that?
But now, because there's so much business at the rock quarry,
Business is booming.
but they got so much money coming in, they got to amend the budget.
Tell me, how many times has that happened? Rainey's Rule of Order. Tell me how many times
It's
does
almost
that
a
happen?
20% increase in sales. That's it's $9 million.
Are they
this
making
year.
money or is it just?
They
Yes.
made $9 million this year.
We
over
make
what they thought.
profit.
We
Yeah.
make money off the rock quarry.
But they made $9
But
million.
there was a
so
few
far.
council members, not the ones here, but one of them is still there, Glenn Hart and some others, that wanted to get rid of the rock quarry.
Then
Wanted
where
to
are we gonna get our
outsource. They wanted to
rocks?
outsource it. They wanted to give it away and outsource it.
Where are we supposed to get our rocks
But
and our sand?
That rock quarry
The only
makes
time you're going
Oconee
to
County.
outsource it, meaning it's going to.
Hey,
you're going to
but
net making more
when
money.
Duke Power leaves, we're going to have the quarry. Thank God for the quarry.
That lake is going to be drained, and the lake people will be leaving. Hallelujah!
Not me.
Hey,
I'm going to move
hey,
to Mountain Rest.
on their way out of town, they need to stop.
Mountain Rest.
They-
I'm going to move to Mountain Rest. I'm going to buy me something
but
up there.
listen, as
gonna
you
You
know,
gonna be neighbors between him and the write-in candidate.
Hell yeah, I am.
hey,
He's gonna move
but
to the
on your way out
river.
of town, you need to stop by the Haviland Express Loop in West Union. They got 2 locations, and if you
not
go
going
to
to
the
West
newest one,
Union.
if you go to the newest one,
I don't need to go
and
to
you can
Mountain Rest.
actually.
I have
And you
more
could
than-
actually get into the West Union Haviland Express Loop without getting a ticket. They'll give you 10% off.
You know what I'm going to do?
because they got a quota on tickets up there. Miss Oliver said so.
Look, you know what progressive
They got
elitists
bills.
do? I'm not
Got
going to
bills
West
to pay.
Union. I'm going to fly to Mountain Rest.
Okay. Well, you can't because the
Airport's
says
closed.
that.
Oh, I can't.
You have to go to
No, I have a seaplane. I will land on Lake Becky.
Oh my God.
Wait a minute, Lake Becky's nowhere near you.
It's on the other side of the mountain.
It's on the other side of the mountain.
Then I'll get on my car and
Well,
I'll
wait a
avoid
minute.
West Union.
Lake
minute.
Mountain Rest or
It-
Crystal Lake.
Hey,
There you go.
then, Kathy, then we're going to be reading about the world famous missing Chris as the new hitchhiker.
All right, that's for another
The Highway
segment.
107
That's for another
hitchhiker.
segment.
The 107 hitchhiker's Chris. I knew it. I knew it was him.
But just wait till he brings them
Let me
bloomer
tell you
crickets
something.
up there.
Let me tell you something. Let me tell you, everybody. In San Francisco,
They have bloomer crickets.
we did those types of things.
What, bloomer crickets?
No, we didn't have bloomer crickets. We had our own plane.
Oh,
They didn't even have bloomers.
What?
But isn't that one of those common things where you have a aircraft hangar and there's no bloomers?
Yeah. Yeah. Certain airport hangars down here used to have orgies all the time.
Whoa,
but
whoa.
that's beside the
Where?
point.
We have orgies.
Yeah,
Hey,
you
but-
want to.
Hey, a one year CD at Edwards Jones at 4.10% interest right now.
That's not a good rate.
Hey, but if you leave it there for 3 years, 4.4%.
Can you say bye?
Wait a minute. I know. See, he says Randy makes him nervous because he's always butting in.
All right.
Wait, he's gonna say something. Deuces, I love you.
Deuces.
I love you.
Go vote November 8th.
Hey,
Bill,
yeah.
not Perry.
And
Hey.
this is a shout
Lisa
out
Ellis.
to the ME. Tell me where you went to school. Not me. I'm not saying. Don't get mad at me.
It wasn't Woodruff Road.
See you next week.
Where were you when the ship hit the sand? He said, I was out there praying for the land. You got it, baby. With my water wings held tightly in my hand. Where were you when the ship hit the sand? One more time. Where were you when the ship hit the sand? He said, I was out there praying for dry land. With my water wings held tightly in my hand.